Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first edition of our new biweekly brief series at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays. My name is Sarah Strader. I'm the Executive Director of Secure Families Initiative.
And I'm Kate Marsh-Lord, SFI's Communications Director. We're launching this brand new briefing series to keep military families caught up on the top line national security and voting issues facing our community. We do the homework so you don't have to.
Exactly. Today we've got 4 stories that we're going to talk about. First and foremost, an update on the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Second, we've got a dead voting bill in the Senate. Third, Congress is trying to eliminate an outdated law in order to make military families more safe. And last but not least, we are going to chat about some drama surrounding the DoD advisory boards. So item number 1, Afghanistan. As we all know, President Biden announced in April his intention to end the war and bring back the troops, by September 11th of this year. Last week, Biden's administration gave an update explaining that the withdrawal is already 90% of the way through and that all troops should be returned by the end of August, minus a few to secure the embassy and the airport. Anyway, hopefully this is good news for anyone in our membership who has a loved one who is deployed there right now. One addendum to this is this. There has been a lot of concern amongst veterans and military families about what's going to happen to our Afghan allies who fought alongside us once U.S. troops have left. And Biden's administration has also shared recently that not only have they worked with Congress to expedite the special immigrant visa process by which these allies can apply for the special visa, but kind of in the interim, they are planning to evacuate Afghan allies to get them to safety to another location where they can finish the applicant process. So obviously we're going to keep monitoring this to make sure this all goes according to plan. But for now, this is a good update for us and a lot of our partner organizations.
That's right. And we just learned that the first group of 2,500 Afghan interpreters and their families are getting evacuated soon to Fort Lee, Virginia. So we'll definitely be following and keep you updated. Sarah, next on our agenda, there's a big voting bill that a lot of us were rooting for and have been following, which died in the Senate last month. Can you tell us more about that?
Yep. So on June 22nd, the Senate voted along party lines to stop considering the big federal voting bill called the For the People Act. So for now, it doesn't look like that bill, or frankly, any other federal voting legislation is going to pass this year, which leaves in place all of the various state level voting laws that have been passing. Terminology alert.
Pew, pew, pew.
Most of us have probably heard the term filibuster talked about a lot these days, right? Filibuster is when the Senate can block a bill from passing by continuing to talk or debate about that bill without stopping. Well, the way that you defeat a filibuster is with a cloture vote. Cloture. That is when 60 senators can vote to stop debate and move forward with a bill. What happened to the For the People Act was a failed cloture vote. So they tried to stop debate and they were unable to get the 60 votes that they needed. So essentially the For the People Act got filibustered. Okay, item number 3 for our agenda today, a zombie bill that's potentially facing its dire end. In 2002, Congress passed a law that said, hey, Mr. President, we give you permission to use military force in Iraq. And the president did. And in 2011, that Iraq war officially ended. However, Congress never took back its permission slip, its authorization. That 2002 AUMF is still on the books. And presidents from both parties have ever since then used this outdated law as a legal reason to attack people in Iraq without declaring war or without telling Congress. The most recent example of this is when President Trump assassinated Iranian General Soleimani when he was in Iraq soil without telling Congress. And as many of us know, that action brought our nations closer to war. So last month, the House of Representatives already voted to get rid of this old law. We think the Senate is going to be voting on it possibly Thursday, at least sometime soon at the committee level. And we already know that the White House supports it. So if this passes into law, the bottom line for military families like ours is this. Getting rid of an outdated authorization means that presidents have to go to Congress before they can send our loved ones to war. And that's really important and good because we want those kinds of decisions to have public debate.
That's right. So this week, at some point, in addition to keeping our eye on that vote, we will add some explainer videos about AUMF and some of this legislation and war powers to our new TikTok. So make sure you're following us there. And then once we have those up, I'll also add the link to this broadcast.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Just affirming.
We're excited about TikTok. Okay. Our final item has to do with the petition we circulated back in March about adding military spouses to DoD advisory boards. We got a lot of great feedback on that, and everyone was really excited about that possibility. Do you have an update for us there?
Sort of. So DoD is still in the processing of deciding which advisory boards they're going to keep and which ones they're going to end, which means we still don't have an official announcement about those specifics. But one update we do have is this. Reporters at military.com found an internal memo that shows that the DoD is planning to end the Women's Advisory Board and to wrap those issues into the existing Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Board. And I just wanted to share this update because I know it's a topic of interest to our members. I'll be honest, a lot of female veterans in particular have expressed disappointment in this development, including some members of Congress that sent a very angry letter to the DoD. So we're waiting to see whether that public pressure means the DoD will change its course or stick on one direction. But we wanted to make sure that you were clued into that unofficial development.
That's right. Okay, that was a good roundup, Sarah. Great job. So every time we do these briefs, we'll leave you with at least one action item that you can take. And today's is really easy. Make sure you follow SFI on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our new TikTok so you don't miss a single update and so you don't miss any of these bi-weekly briefs.
Absolutely. And this is especially important this week because like we said, later this week, there will be a vote and we are expecting to release an action alert related to that vote if it happens. And the best way to get that information is to be following.
That's right. So thank you, anyone who tuned in to our first bi-weekly brief. Sarah, do you want to briefly share, before we talk why we're doing these?
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to do these bi-weekly briefs. Our purpose and our goal is to keep them brief, keep it something so that you get the highlights that you need, maybe while you're multitasking, whether that's winding down for the evening or driving home from picking up your kids at school, you name it. And the goal is this. Katie and I are really dialed into things that are going on in Washington, D.C., legislation, the administration, decisions that they're making. And we really want to make sure that that information makes it down to our members so that folks understand where things are. So you're not sitting there wondering like, hey, I took this action item 2 months ago. What's happened about that? And that way, when we have fresh action items, you understand the context of why we're pushing for something and why this moment is important right now. So hopefully that helps you understand and hopefully you found this valuable today.
Definitely. Thank you. And tune back in 2 weeks for our next bi-weekly brief. That is August 3rd, if you want to mark your calendar, 2:00 Eastern. And that will be our next roundup of news about ending endless wars, reducing domestic militarism, and defending military family access to voting. The things that we care and are really passionate about here at Secure Families Initiative.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.